Hello friends and welcome to Extreme Graphics Tech. My name is Angelo and this is the first video in an epic series that will take us on a graphical journey through time starting with the year 2010. In each episode we'll explore the games that were graphically cutting edge, setting trends and redefining quality standard, making us feel like we were inside an interactive movie. We'll showcase them in the best possible quality without altering the spirit of the game, using only improvement in resolution and frame rate, without mods or other alterations, and using the original versions instead of remakes or remaster. We'll see how visuals in video games have evolved over the last 14 years and remember some forgotten gems. The list has no specific order or game limit, I'll just include those that define a technical milestone in graphics. You won't see Nintendo Wii games here, as although they were artistically beautiful, they weren't graphically cutting edge due to outdated hardware. Let's go to the top. And let's start with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. And oh boy, I have to say that I didn't expect 2010 to have so many great technical games. And Brotherhood is for me one of the best in terms of the saga when it comes to technical advance, because it was the first port that actually took advantage of PC in a proper way, since all the other ports were very lackluster. Brotherhood came and started to take PC seriously, and we were able to enjoy one of the best launches in the series, entries in the series with this game. It looks beautiful, the destruction, the modeling, the texture is just so great. It's an open world game and is one of the best games in the series in my opinion. However, you are going to see many of the games that, yes, this game looks, from my point of view, very good still. However, you're going to see that they are aging in some specific areas and that they share some commonalities. For example, the modeling and texturization of the players looks a little bit plasticky, and the color palette of these games tend to be a little brownish on most of them. However, these games, from my point of view, have aged very good, and you're going to see that even now, when you combine very good technical quality with right artistic direction, you are going to find that the games has aged very well. So for example, here we have one of the most beloved game and most technically intense games of that generation, and that's Red Dead Redemption, a game that made most people fell in love with the old Wild West, and because of those view, those sunset, the galloping, all the flora and fauna, all of this really helped to cement Red Dead Redemption as one of the best graphical games. The modeling of the characters is one of the best in the whole series that we're going to be seeing here, but it's that open world, the animals and everything you could interact with, and that sensation of, you know, being lonely in the old Wild West with the beauty that it offered to you at the time. It was just, there was nothing similar to this at that level of quality. The story was amazing, the music was great, riding horses felt incredible. I think Rockstar was showing here and flexing their muscles, showing why they are one of the best, if not the best studio when it comes to graphics and technical quality, because the amount of details packed into this game is really rivaled only by the sequel that we are going to get there at some point. And if I show you two open world games right now we are going the other way with Metro 2033. Because this game was more about claustrophobic sensation, being enclosed, being underground. However, they still put everything they could, the studio put everything they could into making this look as good as possible. We have one of the best light systems, best shadow and shaft system that you're going to find in any of the games that I'm going to present here. Just the way the light interacts with everything, generates shadows, and the colors that they use, how each element can produce and cast shadows over the objects, it's just really good for a small studio, a Ukrainian studio that was making one of the first game. Honestly, what they achieved here, and this is the original game, is nothing short of amazing. The graphical quality is so good, and at the time you require a very powerful computer to play this game at all you could do. However, nowadays you can play this at 4K 100 FPS easily with any decent computer, and believe me, this game still looks amazing. So you have not played and you want just to experience what this game is all about, I'm gonna tell you and recommend it right now and play, because it looks really phenomenal even to this day. So don't lose the opportunity to play Metro 2033. And on this game, unfortunately, I will have to use a video that I downloaded from YouTube, because my 7 hours of gameplay only recorded the black screen. And that game is none other than Final Fantasy 13. A game that is hated by many people, and I can understand why. But one point that cannot be hated is the technical part of it. If Square Enix has shown anything, is that they can do amazing technical and they are above many other studios. The gameplay, well, you know, many people criticize it. I like the game, but that's okay. I can understand if you didn't like it, but the fact that it was this narrow corridor sort of games also allow Square Enix to put all the details and polygons to each character, making them look amazing. So in this way, you can have all the power of the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 at the time concentrated in those areas and make the game look as good as possible. Really, Square Enix did a tremendous job in the technical side of this game. Another studio that every time they release something, everyone is watching is Remedy. And that's because every single game they release, the advance in graphics is really a giant leap. Now we have Alan Wake 2 full ray trace, but this is where it started. This is Remedy and their No Light engine, and showing how good it was. And actually it was so good that it was one of those games that Xbox 360 used to showcase the quality of their console. This game looked phenomenal. The textures were really high res. The light system was amazing because you had to use it and interact with shadows and everything in order for you to escape. But beyond that, there was also these like forest areas that look really good. You have all the light system. You have the kind of semi-open world areas or semi-open areas where you can explore a little bit and you can see details that were not apparent initially, like cars being destroyed or the lights moving around, and when you throw like a flare, how it thinks everything around you in red. Really, it's clear that Remedy has been working about light and how it affects the environment for a long time, because now with this latest Alan Wake 2 game, they show that while using ray tracing. But this is where it started, and it's a game that still today looks phenomenal, and I would recommend anyone to try it if you haven't, because it's at least from the technical side of view is a very, very impressive. And well, talking about hated games, you know, Black Ops is one of those games that you can hate because you don't like the Call of Duty saga. But Black Ops and all the Call of Duty games are also one of those that every year they are advancing on the graphical department. I expect them, and I don't play the multiplayer part, but I have so much playing the single player, and that's because the single player are very, very fun, but at the same time the technical advancement in graphics is always evident. And what can I say, I am somebody who loves graphic and love to see how it's been evolving ever since the Atari 2600, and for me there is no better way to see how graphics have advanced than checking every year Call of Duty, because they will throw everything in it, because it's you know, it makes so much money that they really want to have the cutting edge of technology out there, and I think they mostly achieved that. On later year maybe they have not, but during the 2000s and it was really one of the top games graphically speaking. But now I cannot make a list of 2010 without putting in God of War 3. This game put my jaw to the floor the first time I saw it. I was literally on top of a giant titan fighting against Greek gods. And oh my god, I could not believe how good this game looks and how well it ran at the time. We have this massive beast that when it goes away, you are just a dot on it. And it looks incredible, and you have this zoom and these fly arounds. I don't know how they pulled this off on the PlayStation 3, but this is for me the most epic God of War. The latest entries are good and they're great games and I love them, but I don't think any has, copied the spectacle that this game represented when it came out. The games are more close now, and this was all about size, all about, epicness, and God of War 3 is definitely on my top in that sense. Now, here is a game that I am going to show you just the start, because this is a game that will need like 20 hours just to, play through it. But this was BioWare at the top of their game. And as far as I remember, this game was developed on Unreal Engine. And at the time, it was also one of those games that Microsoft and the used to showcase the Xbox 360, because it was an exclusive game and it looked absolutely phenomenal. This was really one of those games that you wanted to show everyone and show how the model of the characters look, because it was like, look how good this game looks, and show to everyone and say, I don't think we are going to pick these graphics. Honestly, at the time, Mass Effect was one of the most graphically incredible games made. The characters look so great, even though right now you can see some the flaws on it. This is the interesting part, is seeing how these, the evolutions of graphics, how things have evolved. Well, I remember seeing this at the time and thinking, we cannot get better characters than this. This look just perfect, and not just the human ones, but there are lots of like alien characters with very good textures and effects going on, and the light interacting with them. It was really something to behold at the time, and it was really amazing. So looking at this now, and we have a legendary edition which obviously looks better, but I still think there is something so sci-fi, so nice about the look of the games that hasn't been replicated, and everybody's like trying to look for their own identity. But I think Mass Effect nailed from the beginning. It is really that grandeur, epic sci-fi opera with its own style that is sort of very futuristic but kind of 70s style, but the graphics at the time were just amazing. I cannot say good enough things about this game, because it was really that good in terms of the graphical quality. However, the problem is that 2010 had so many amazing games in the graphical department that I have to keep bringing them. And in this case, it's Heavy Rain. I remember playing this game when it came out. I couldn't believe my eyes. This game looks so amazing. I know many people don't like the style of game, but graphically speaking, when it came out, it was one of the most amazing graphical games that you could find. The details and everything around the game just was almost photorealistic, and the reason is because it's a very intimate, close game that even the camera is controlled most of the time, and you can have this nice close-up because it's not a fast-paced game or anything like that. It's more like a, an interactive story. So that meant that Quantic Dream could, put all the efforts on had to make this game believable, because it depended so much on the actors and the characters and the emotion they had to convey. And this, they really nailed it at the time. It was so good, and still, I think, you can see that it has aged, but I think it still looks quite interesting. The atmosphere, the rain, the details, the geometry, is everything so well done that I think even to this day, this is a game that has this particular look that looks so amazing, and that puts you in that mood that the game wants you to be, and that is all thanks to the amazing graphics that the game has. And I have to put Ubisoft back in the spot, and it's because Ubisoft, you can say anything you want about their games, but they are always at the top of the technical levels. So another game I'm going to bring is a Splinter Cell Conviction, and many people forget that this game even came out in 2010, but when you look at it, this game looks phenomenal. And this is another game that is using the Unreal Engine 2.5, but it's my understanding there is a modified version of the engine specially made for this game. And what makes this game special is that the light in this is an interactive system. So if you shut a light, the area is going to get dark, and when you are in a dark place, it's going to get all black and white to show you that you are in the covered by shadow, which makes the game very visually appealing. But also it has this sort of cinematic flair to it, showing you letters in the areas that they want you to, you know, like in a special way. The textures in these games are really amazing, really good, really well done, and everything detail and every of the city lights and everything is so well done that I think it's still today it has aged better than many of the other games have shown, even if they were at the top of the level at the time. And the last game I'm going to be talking today is a game that I never played before, and that's Halo Reach. When I was investigating a little bit about the top graphical games, this game came in almost every list that I was looking at. So of course I had to play it and see if effectively it was a game that was supposed to be here. And even though I didn't play at the time, so it doesn't have the same effect that I could see the impact at the time, I had to say that looking to the glass of the 2010 series, yes, this is definitely a stunning looking game. Halo has always been about scope, and this game is really big in scope, where you can have these amazing fights with lots of characters and flying vehicles, cars and everything, and all of this is conveyed in a very realistic and interesting way. This was the last game made by Bungie for the Halo series, and it honestly shows that they were at the technical peak, because this game looks amazing. The light system, the way that lights illuminate everything, even though some areas you can clearly see that they are baked, still they're made in a convincing way to give you the atmosphere and the mood that they were looking for. You can see, the light shaft coming through the trees. You can see how the volumetric lighting. You can see how the colors of the light affects the environment, and all of that while running very, very smooth. I understand it's an old game, but everything felt so good, and the animations are really great. And this is supposed to be one of the first the first Halo game that use motion capture. So this game I can recommend enough, because even in 2024 it feels really fresh, and the graphics are really holding up. So having said that, my friends, this is the end of my list. Now I would like to know, what game from 2010 do you think I missed that deserved to be here? And also, what game from 2011 you think that deserved to be in the next video? Because I would like to see maybe games that are not very well known, or that no other people mention them too much, but they are really graphical technical prowess. So I understand that there may be many PSP games that were really great, or Vita games that were really great at the time, but as much as they were great for the system, they were not graphical prowess overall. So I am looking for those games that really push the envelope of graphics, and that they were at the peak of their game during the time. Having said that, hope you like this video, and as always, see you in the next one.